How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs beat writer on SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping in. Today, we are going to continue on with our Kansas City Chiefs player expectations for the 2025 NFL campaign. As we know, the Chiefs are closing in towards their training camp period. It begins on the 21st of July, with the first practice being on the 22nd. Just some housekeeping things for you to start off the episode. But as we discussed today, we're going to be diving into one of the more underrated Kansas City Chiefs free agents that signings this offseason that I believe could have a strong season donning a Chiefs uniform, and that is Jerry Tillery, defensive tackle. So I'm excited for Tillery. If you know him, he's a former first-round pick. He's already expressed so many positive traits towards the media in Kansas City, expressing that he's just here to learn. He's excited to bring what he can bring to the football field to Kansas City and making sure that he makes an impact while he's with the roster. Excuse me. But that being said, there is kind of like a high ceiling towards his game that he hasn't necessarily reached. And now that he's been in the league for several years, it might be difficult for him to reach what some thought of him being as a first-round pick. So I think that the Chiefs signing him is just an additional piece to the defensive line that's going to be able to help out the underratedness of the Kansas City Chiefs defense. But with that being said, without further ado, let's break down my expectations for Jerry Tillery. So as we know, he's with the Chiefs. It is his third season within the AFC West. He originally was drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers. Then he made a short stint with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, as a Kansas City Chiefs, you would think that would only benefit in divisional games, because the Chiefs play both the Raiders and the Chargers twice. It's almost like, Tillery, you're going to be able to thrive this season donning a Chiefs uniform. However, last season with the Minnesota Vikings, there was like highs and lows to his game. While he doesn't necessarily bring a whole lot to the sack department, that doesn't mean that he's going to be invaluable while he's out there on the field. So much so, his career high with the Chargers came in his third year in the league, where he totaled 51 total tackles, 24 of them were solo tackles. Now, if that is the case in the forward trajectory that they're looking to do so, that was also in 2021. Last season, he had 28 total tackles. The year prior with the Las Vegas Raiders, he had 31. I think that the Chiefs have been very well organized with their defense over the last few years. And it's got to give credit to defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo for everything that he does in order to keep this defense. While they're viewed as underrated, they might be one of the best top 10 defenses in the league going into 2025. And I think that's only going to benefit Jerry Tillery. I would expect Tillery to kind of have a resurgence type of season, to where I see him entering the 40-ish total tackle range. Perhaps it would be like a split between solos and assists, but that is only exciting for at least the Chiefs Kingdom being able to watch this guy firsthand now, rooting for him. I think that him being on the line as well with, or learning and picking the brain of Chris Jones, is only going to help his game improve down the line, especially if he can stay healthy for a full season. That's another expectation that I have that I feel like is kind of getting undervalued now in the National Football League, is how healthy these guys are. There are a handful of players that have immense talent, but they just can't stay on the field. Tillery, on the other hand, he's got the talent. Like I said, he's a former first-round draft pick, but he typically stays on the field when he's utilized. For the past two seasons, both with the the Las Vegas Raiders and with the Minnesota Vikings. He's played in all 17 games. If that is the trend that's going to continue, I would hope that and only expect him to do so while in Kansas City. I think that he's going to add a whole lot to the stuff game, though. An underrated value point on his game is the stuffs. Last season, he had a career high with 5.5. In the years prior, he's always been able to generate a handful of stuffs, but his prior to last season, his career high was 4.5, set in that third year with the Los Angeles Chargers. While it might be difficult, and I'm not here saying or expecting a year 3 type Jerry Tillery in Kansas City, I do expect him, though, to kind of thrive in this defensive scheme. We've seen players who have played elsewhere outside of Kansas City then come to Kansas City and thrive. An example is Mike Edwards. While he did play for the Chiefs when they ended up winning that Super Bowl, he left and hasn't necessarily been the same. He's coming back because he knows how Steve Spagnuolo works. He knows how he's going to be able to be used in the defensive scheme. A guy like Tillery doesn't have the experience of Edwards, where he hasn't played for the team before, but that doesn't mean that he can't have the same experience as Edwards did when he first did join the Kansas City Chiefs. And that was almost a career season for Edwards. It depends on how you look at it. So with that being said, I think I would fully expect Jerry Tillery to play in 17 games, be around the 40 total tackle mark, potentially reach around 2 to 3 quarterbacks sacks. If he's lucky, I would put my expectation a little bit lower. I would say around the 2 area, and I would hope that he would get closer to around the 6.5 stuffs. He's not going to be an everyday starter like Chris Jones is, but that doesn't mean that he's not going to be held to a high expectation. He's a veteran on the roster. He's got a lot to add to this franchise, who's looking to win another championship after being embarrassed last season. That being said, though, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to follow me over on X at Dom Minchella. I post and repost every single day. You're not going to want to miss any coverage. And if that's not good enough for you, you can also follow us over at KC Chiefs on SI over on X, where all of our stories get posted by our wonderful writing staff as we all continuously get closer and closer to training camp, then into the 2025 NFL campaign. As always, Chiefs Kingdom, I will see you tomorrow, and be kind to one another.